our story today is called Radio Man, a story in English and Spanish. But I can't speak Spanish, so I'm only going to read the English words. And it's by Arthur Dorros. Arthur Dorros is the author and the illustrator. What do you see on the cover? Some people. And what are they picking? Could be lettuce or cabbage. Looks more like cabbage to me. They must be at a farm. Yep. This boy works at a farm. And here he is again, listening to his radio. Radio Man by Arthur Dorros. Published by Teaching Strategies. It's kind of a long one, so get cozy. Got it? All right. Look at this shape. This is the shape of America. And on the shape of America, they have mountains and they have plants and they have the boy's car. I think maybe that's giving us a clue that maybe the boy travels around America. Diego woke up to sounds of a deep voice on the radio. Buenos dias, good morning. The words in Spanish and English echoed across the room. Es la voz de la frontera. This is the voice of the border. See, that's in Spanish and English. Good morning, Texans. Texans. That must mean that Diego lives in Texas. We live in New Jersey, but he lives in a different state called Texas. ¿Está listo? Es Diego's grandfather, abuelo. Remember, abuelo means grandfather. I'm ready, said Diego. Beep, beep. A truck's horn sounded outside. Diego's mother, father, and little sister Alicia were already waiting in the front seat of the truck. They must be going somewhere. I wonder where they are going. Let's look out his window real quick. Looks kind of like a desert, right? So they're going somewhere. Diego carried the radio and climbed into the truck. Hey, Radio Man, called Diego's friend David. David called him Radio Man because Diego was always listening to the radio. Can I ride with you today? Sí, vamos, said Papa, waving. So his friend David, we have a David. Hi, David. His friend David wants to come in the truck with him. Yes, let's go, said Diego. We won't see each other for a while. My family is leaving here tomorrow. So is my family, said David. They're leaving? Are they moving? Going far away? Then he won't get to see his friends. It's sad when we don't get to see our friends, right? Diego's family and David's family were migrant farm workers. They traveled most of each year to find work picking fruits and vegetables. This was the last day of cabbage picking. It was dusty and hot in the fields. The boxes of cabbages seemed heavy. Como elefantes, said Abuelo. Diego and David thought the boxes were as heavy as elephants too. So Diego and his friend David and his grandpa work at the farms. But when they're all done picking all these crops and there's no more crops to pick, they have to leave because there's no more work to be done. And if there's no more work to be done, they can't earn any money. So they have to find another farm to work at. While they rode back to the cabins, Diego tuned the radio to a station that played songs in Spanish. Everyone was tired from the work. Canta, said Mama. Diego sang. David tapped a rhythm on the side of the truck, and Mama helped Alicia clap hands in time to the music. They're driving home after a long day, and then tomorrow they're going to move. The next morning, Diego and David said goodbye. Look, they're saying goodbye. They're not going to see each other anymore. They hoped they would see each other soon. Diego waved until David was out of sight. Diego and his family drove west over the mountains. You're listening to KKTS, Cactus Radio Broadcasting from Tucson, Saguaro Cactus Land, said a man's voice on the radio that night. This is the After Sundown Show, and I'm the Night Owl. So Diego likes to listen to his radio, and wherever he goes, he listens to different radio stations. They're driving in the nighttime, and there is a big full moon. We had a full moon. I saw it just last night. Did you? On highways, on narrow roads, and through small towns, the family drove from farm to farm looking for work. Hello, you're tuned to Bird Radio of Phoenix, Arizona. Arizona is another state. Remember, we live in New Jersey, and he was in Texas. Now he's in Arizona. I'm talking to you from the banks of Gila River. When the radio voice got louder and louder, Diego knew they were getting closer to a town. Sometimes when you're far, far away from a town, the radio gets fuzzy and it goes like this a lot. And you can't hear things. Do you think they're going to find another farm here? Let's see. They did. At the melon farm, where his family found work, Diego saw his cousins Sophie and Ernesto. Their family had also found work here. He hadn't seen these cousins in a long time. Sometimes when you're far away from your family, you don't see them, but he gets to see them again. The three walked to school together every morning. When they went back to the fields after school, they looked for Gila monsters. That's not really a monster. It's a lizard. Once, David told Diego about Gilas, but Diego had never seen one. There's a Gila, said Diego on the last day of picking. It looks like one of your dinosaurs, Ernesto, said Sophie. Big old lizard. I've never seen one either, and I'm not quite sure I'm saying it right either. I will have to look it up on Google. That night, there was a party with music, food, and a piñata. Hey, we made a piñata in school. There it is. To celebrate the end of melon picking. Bailemos, said Abuela, and people danced to music from the radio. Sophie broke the piñata. I didn't think you could run so fast, Diego said to Ernesto. You look like you're being chased by Gilas, said Ernesto. So they're having a party because they're all done picking the melons. But remember what happened when they were all done picking the cabbages? He had to do what? He had to move. Now they're done picking all of the melons, so now he's probably going to have to move again. There we go. They're moving again. The next day, Diego's family started the long drive to the cherry farms. It was hot in the truck during the day, so the family drove through the cool night. Diego was almost asleep, leaning against Abuelo, when Abuelo jiggled his arm. Escucha, he said. That means listen. Diego listened to crackling sounds coming from the radio. Abuelo tuned the radio slowly. Buenos noches, the voice spoke only in Spanish. The songs were in Spanish too. The cherry picking farm must be in a place where there's only people speaking Spanish, maybe. It's still nighttime. Abuelo heard one of his favorite songs, La Paloma. He told Diego that this station was far, far away in Mexico. Mexico, that's not in America. Mexico is a different country. Abuelo had listened to the same song in the village where he had grown up. He told Diego about the village, about the forest where butterflies look like leaves on trees, and about the houses shining in the moonlight. Look at that butterfly. So pretty. By dawn, that means when the sun's coming up, by dawn, the family was near Lodi, California. Now they're in California. Good morning, everyone, said the radio woman's voice. She played a song called Stuck in Lodi Again. Diego had heard that song every single summer when he and his family came to Lodi to pick cherries. So now they're at a farm where they're picking cherries. But Diego never felt stuck in Lodi. He always met someone he knew. Maybe David would be there. Diego saw two boys he had known at school in Arizona, but he did not find David. There's other boys who are there with their families too. They're going to pick the cherries. While he emptied buckets of cherries and took care of Alicia, Diego looked for his friend. During all the days of cherry picking, he looked, but David did not arrive. Maybe David went to a different farm with his family. When families move, kids have to go with them. Today is the last day of cherry picking, the old woman on the radio said. It's been a great harvest this year. Now we'll go north to new places, said Papa. North. So they went all the way to California. Now they got to go up, up, up north. Oh, look at this picture, guys. Remember when we did the tree study? We saw the trees that people were driving through? Diego gets to do it too. Papa drove until fog swirled around the truck. Diego heard the ocean waves crashing. You're listening to Big Radio in Crescent City, gateway to the Giants, the radio man said. The Giants were redwood trees. Remember we saw those big giant redwood trees? One tree had a tunnel big enough to drive through. I'll tell David about this, said Diego. The family drove through forest and through dry country. They stopped at a roadside store to get something to drink and eat. A woman was looking at melons, trying to find a ripe one to buy. Diego wondered if those were melons he and his family had picked. He looked at the rows of fruit and vegetables. He knew how to pick them. Remember at that other farm he picked the watermelons? Then they went into a big truck and they brought them to the stores. Diego might have picked those ones. What is he there to pick now? Yes, apples. It must be fall because the apples grow in fall. Finally, the family reached the orchards of trees so heavy with apples that the branches almost touched the ground. Diego had never been here before. Ahora anuncios de KMPO Campo Radio Campesina de Sunnyside, Washington. Washington is another state. Now, announcements from KMPO Campos Farmers Worker Radio from Sunnyside, Washington. The radio announcer gave a telephone number so that people could call in and give their messages. Diego turned up the volume. Sometimes you can call on the telephone and talk to the person on the radio. And they can put your voice on the radio and you can hear it and other people can hear it too. So I think Diego might do that. But what might he say? Maybe he might be trying to talk to somebody that he hasn't seen in a while. Who could that be? His friend, right? His friend David. Paco, this is Lupe. Feliz cumpleaños. Happy birthday. That's what somebody said on the radio. Elena, your cousin, called. She will arrive on Friday. Diego listened to the messages and to the KMPO telephone number again. He ran to a telephone and called the station. The announcer answered. Buenos dias, do you have a message? Diego did have a message. Hello, David? This is Diego. Are you here? Diego heard his own voice on the radio. So that's what his message is. Other people called to say happy birthday, and other people called to say they were coming there on Friday, but he got on there and he said, hello, David, this is Diego. Are you here? And if his friend David is there, he will hear him on his radio. Someone was listening. Who was listening? That's David with his radio. And that's the last page with the picture of that map again. So David was listening and they got to be together. And it's a good thing that David also had a radio. I know that it is hard when we're not with our friends, but it's a good thing that there are things that you can use to talk to your friends. Like you can call on the telephone, or you can make a video and put it on our page, and you can talk to your friends just like we've been doing. So if you ever want to talk to your friends, just ask your family and they can help you. Okay, friends, see you later. I hope you enjoyed this story.